Streaming to all the channels. That means it should show up here on USXBL. There we go. We share it to the groups here. All right. I probably should have prepped some like heavy metal music to be playing in the background. That would have been pretty good. All right. We are live. We'll wait for everybody to jump in. Everyone can hear us as got 10 people in right now who just jumped in after I shared that. So looking good. We'll get the cameras on right now, guys. There should be a little chat icon, Mike, that you can see everything.
I can see me. All I see is the state of the league.
Yeah. On the right-hand side for you, does it show chat at all?
Mm-hmm.
If not, I can put it on the stream too right here. There you go. I can do that. And then I can hide it as we go. Got Cliff, Daygood, Striker.
RIP XPSL. I don't know about that one, brother. Remember back in the XPSL days, if you ever won, you got like 2 guns, 3 goggles, and 4 barrels, and 3 things of gun oil.
Port City. We'll get the cameras on right now, guys. Just waiting for people to come in.
Bondo reporting live.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. If Bondo's here. I mean, Bondo, why don't you just take this thing over? I'm gonna go grab me some sushi. Give me the Cliff Notes.
I'll throw in the I'll throw it in the live. I'll throw in a live link here and I'll have them take over. Port City Revelers, I think is how you say it, right? They're playing USXBL Florida. Made their graphic. Someone said in the chat, Mike, that because we're going blow for blow, right? They're waiting for us to start giving out Hondas again for prizes.
Who's giving out Hondas?
I don't know. Someone said back in the day they're like giving out Hondas. I think they're referring to when they give out the Mustangs and stuff.
I've got one down the street.
Yeah.
Like we got a Honda. I got a Civic down the road in case the other cars break. Keep the old Honda.
Yeah.
Pole position, boys are in.
There we go.
Bondo to Don. Get you in front of a camera, you'll yap for hours. That's the difference, Bondo. I don't like being in front of the camera. Ryan has to start throwing these things out like weeks ahead of time, and I'm like,
It's just every day waking up like, God damn it, I have to do that. I'm gonna have to get in the camera.
But there is a good thing about all this because it gives people a direct access to be able to ask questions that they have, right?
Yeah.
That's, I think, super important.
Yep.
Because it's funny in paintball, the rumors that fly around, right? Like sometimes people throw rumors my way and I'm just like, yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that craziness. But yeah, if you insist, like, right? Like some of them are just head scratching.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I heard you're bringing back 7-man. What?
Yeah. Dude, I've heard it all. Like, I think the number one most common is like, when's the Mini X coming back? And it's like, never, ever, 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 ever.
You tell me you didn't like those things just popping at the seams after every event?
Remember when we brought them back at the first event at ASG a couple years ago? Mm-hmm. Frankie was part of our setup crew, like OG Frankie that does like all the field gridding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like first game of the morning and he's running past me because, you know, ASG's got all 4 fields butt to butt to butt, which makes that common area busy, but also cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's running by with like glue and a patch kit. And I'm like, only thing I could think was like somebody with metal spikes must have hit a bunker, you know what I mean? And like cut it open. And he's like, no, the first match of the day, dude, was just shooting into that like 90-degree cutout V on the side of the Mini X. He's like, you just blew the seam wide open. So then you end up having to put like inner
like
tubes
patch, right?
around
like the inner
them.
tube patch.
Remember, what he used, people thought it was like black duct tape, but it was inner tubes, like bike inner tubes that he had cut open, and it would go around like the waistline of the Mini X, that thin spot. You would put it around there so you couldn't blow the seam open on it, but it looked ghetto. Like, just so everybody knows, like I'm not joking, to run 4 fields at one of our events, if you ran 4 Mini X's per field as 16 Mini X's, dude, I think you would have to have like 40 or 50 of them to get through an event. Like the seams blow that, especially in a season. After 1 or 2 events of using them, they get worked over. But like literally the first match blew a hole in a Mini X. Like never again. Big X, I could totally see that happening. Mini X, I'd rather bring back that car wash with the danglies in the middle of it.
So guys, go ahead and put your questions in the chat. I'm keeping track here. We'll answer them as we go and towards the end of the event. Your boy George Jocelyn just jumped in, Mike.
You should be messaging. Kick my boy Manny.
Manny, maybe refresh. You're the only one who's done it so far. Doesn't mean that it's not happening, but just give it a refresh.
How about kick these cameras on, Ryan?
Yeah, let's do that. We can all
start throwing up gang signs.
Let me get this up here. Let's see.
Can you use meta glasses? I do not believe so if they have the Bluetooth in the ear, because there would be no way for us to know when calls are coming in or somebody's communicating from out of bounds, inbounds. If there are meta glasses with no, microphone ability in them, absolutely. The camera's not the issue. I think more eyes on anything we do here in America is probably a good look. But the idea of a Bluetooth speaker going to somebody, especially in a tie game in the finals, like, all of a sudden somebody kicks it's 3-on-3, they're here, and here, could be a bad look.
Yeah. Bondo, I posted about that on the Instagram, so just go through there. Just email me. You know how to get a hold of me. But yeah, I am Alex. I have to
touch that last one.
I'm sitting in the back of my bed right now because my son's downstairs. He's doing therapy, so he might come to the camera and start screaming at you guys because he doesn't like you. So yeah, guys, shoot your questions in. I'm gonna keep them down. We're gonna get started here. Yeah, first of all, thank everybody for tuning in. More people will keep trickling in, but we appreciate you guys tuning into the State of the League. For those of you guys that are new here, we try to do this, I don't know, at least twice a year. I think we did it twice or 3 times last year. It's a good way for us to answer you guys' questions, kind of give you guys some of the insight that Mike has into the 3 leagues now this year. And as everyone knows, the first brand new announcement, of course, was that we're going into Florida in 18 days. So yeah, Mike, kind of give us just a quick little thought of what was the decision to move into Florida?
Well, I mean, I think that we've always, when you're in a region and your closest neighbor region, like WC, it was always Texas. I think you see what's happening over there. You know what I mean? George, just to be clear, here's Ruby. Ruby, say hi, George.
Hi, George.
Yep. Not even throwing gang signs or saying, shut up, nerd. That's her favorite comment. Shut up, nerd. But no, once we were in Texas, the ragtag guys have been coming out to Texas to play for the last 2 seasons. Last year they took the whole thing, but they just said, it'd be great to have USXBL work its way towards Florida. Jason Edwards and I have been friends for a long time. And all the damage guys really, right? But Jason, reached out last year we had talked a little bit about possibly using his field if we ever did something. And I think that's how a lot of paintball business tends to work, right? Is everybody's friends with let's all be real about this. Paintball's a first name sport at the industry level. It's not like all of a sudden there's, 32 new fields in a state that none of us heard about and they just popped up overnight. Like everybody knows everybody on a first name basis. So like with Jason, it was just real easy. And, Legacy, which was Central Florida paintball, has been a mainstay. That's not taking any shots at any other fields around there. It's just, that's some pretty special hollowed ground, right? Like for Florida. So it just made the most sense, right? So we'd been thinking about it last year, and then with talks with some refs and some players, they asked us, we knew social was probably going to the wayside. That last year was their last year, and felt like if they were gone, that Florida has the ability to sustain 2 leagues. So, that's kind of the thought, right? Like, I always say this in interviews. I think a lot of people, if you're like, let's use markers, right? A lot of you guys use Eclipse or Dye or Lux or MacDiv or whatever you use, but it's like, I feel like paintball is so polar with it, right? Like you're either all in on one side or it's F the other side. You know what I mean? And for me personally, I just don't like, Ryan knows, Tracy knows, all the people in our inner workings, Robert Jordan, we don't sit around looking at what other leagues do and compare ourselves to them. And like, we must catch the NXL or whatever. Like the NXL should be the only NXL there is, right? Nobody should copy their anything. Like, don't get me wrong, there's format changes, incremental change. Every year in paintball, there's small change, right? Like this year at the pro level, now we're going to 5-pod, jihad, and a hopper, right? But as a business, if the local steakhouse tries to copy Ruth Chris Steakhouse, you're just Ruth Chris 2.0, right? And you're probably not as good as they are with it. So for us, it's just been about running our style of paintball, which if you look at our numbers over the years, they've always grown and never really dropped off. I would say people like what we do. Is it always perfect? No paintball tournament's perfect. I don't care if it's NXL or us or name any league out there. We're competitors, right? And everybody's trying to cheat the next guy. It makes it very difficult. You know what I mean? But for me personally, I can say, like before we started this is our 18th year at the WC. Like if this was a person, it'd be an adult now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a long time to be doing it. And I think everybody that knows me, like the ragtag guys, they came into Texas last year. There's no bias there. I don't care where you're from. I think our job as a league is to make sure the best 2 teams end up on the finals field, right? And we also know every different layout, the best team can change, right? This team plays this well, this team plays that well, however it is. So for us, there's no bias. It's just making sure we sift through the nonsense and get to into the playoffs with the teams that should be there, So I think for us going out there, there was, and again, bias and all these things that people say, when it came time. And we also knew at Legacy, Gold Rush was probably, they did that last year. They weren't really wild about bringing that back this year. So it was kind of a perfect time and a perfect fit, if that makes sense.
Sir. Yeah, so I mean, we're excited to move into Florida. We're excited to kind of show people what we can do. Got a good amount of teams signed up here. Everyone's paying their entry, and it's looking great for us. And excited to show the live stream aspect that we bring into it as well. But let's talk a little bit more about how we currently run our leagues, right? And how USXBL Florida will be ran. I'll pop up a question here that kind of trickles into everything, right? Which is the first one is how we do paint at the event. So this first question is from Josh Blood, which is, will there be one paint bender or multiple? What's the cost of paint, and will we be able to pre-order?
So USXBL has always been 45. That's what the number that's come down from above. Everybody kind of runs that number. That's what we've been asked to do it. We run one kind of paint. There's no need for pre-order. There's no, at any of our leagues, anybody that's been there knows, like we're all working off of that palette. And we get done with that one. If you want the one right behind it, that lot number, you can buy all of this palette and then you can buy all of that palette. But we don't play politics. Like you know what I mean? Somebody's going to win in 2 weeks in Florida and I'm going to hand out a pile of money and you're going to take pictures of it. At the end of the day, money ain't coming back to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for us, it's evil is what we've always used. The paint color, I saw that one come up a minute ago, yes, will be pink. Let's just touch on that really quick.
Yeah.
I used to make paint, but besides that, GI makes Ultra Evil for 10-man. That pink stuff is nasty, right? Like that's the stuff that you get it on your hands and until the skin peels off your hands, you can't wash it out. We don't use that pink. We use the regular Evil pink. It washes out of everything. I tell everybody this story. The year we went to it, all of our field wraps had to be washed the next week. So I'm at like the local laundromat getting the stank eye from the lady that runs it because I'm throwing just bundles of shit in that thing. And, the water fills up pink, then a little less pink, then clear, and they come out of the wash cycle. And obviously I don't do a ton of laundry, but you look at the backside of it where it's white and all the pink was completely washed out of it. So as far as staining goes or anything like that, I mean, we've ran white bunkers. The OTL bunkers are white this year. The JT bunkers are white. They've never stained one time. So we are running pink across all. And the reason we did that was because, like, I like the yellow, and now we kind of have what we refer to at SC as the Predator Blood NXL feel, because it's kind of got that neon green to it. It's definitely not pure yellow, right? I'm not an art major, but there's definitely some green in that paint. But we just noticed back in the day, there was too many issues. There's paint all over these bunkers, all over these fields. You rub against some of that yellow. The ref has to make a tough call. Like, is that a fresh hit? Was that rub? Right? With the pink, what we've noticed with the pink, it makes the ref's job a little bit easier, which, listen, reffing is the toughest job in the world. 12 hours a day, standing on your feet, getting MF'd into the ground, probably not getting the lunch you wish you had. Like, it's not a great, easy job, right? And we thought going to pink fill paint would help the ref do their job a little bit better, because when you see that stuff open up, there's no doubt when it breaks on somebody. Yeah. So that's why we've done what we've done.
Yeah. And I mean, there's people in the chat here will attest. Like, the paint shoot's amazing. It's been with us, like you said, for years. And I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And our goal as a league is to provide the consistency for every single team. And I think Evil for us has been doing that.
Yeah, I mean, to touch on the paint thing, we are not against any other company, but it's also important to explain the dynamics of the industry and paint in particular. Like when I owned APX, that was a snap at somebody.
Yeah.
But when I owned APX, I made paint. Listen, guys, I promise you all one thing. Paint cost above $20 to make. And then when you factor in shipping and all of that stuff, there is not GI, not Defy, not ProShar, not HK. I promise you it's north of 20. Like, it really is. But the problem you run into is some of the other companies, and we'll just use my company that I once owned, APX. We could make a case of paint for $21, $22 a case, whatever it was, at our door, but then you got to put it on a semi. And I think Travis and ProShar have a trailer, and GI has a pile of trailers, but beyond them, nobody has trailers. So right off the top, how does that go? My son Bryce walking through quietly, but how does that go? Like, and again, let's use HK, right? I'm friends with HK. Like, I'm good friends with Marky and all those guys. Even if they give it to me at their cost to not make money, which doesn't make a lot of sense, we're going to have to go pick it up in an 18-wheeler, ship it across the country. I mean, you're right off the top, right? George is on here. He's a Class A guy, $3 a mile. It's what it is. Plus to pay Ryder or whoever it is. And then when we're done, we have to liquidate that paint. And if I'm in Florida, like, what do? Ask Legacy, hey guys, can you buy these other 12 skids from me? And good looking out player, like, paint could go bad in that amount of time, right? So the cost that it would add to the event for the players, I just can't justify it. And I'm really not throwing stones. Like, Yaya is my boy. Like, listen, if I have to name 3 paintball friends, Yaya is one of them. Like, if that dude calls, no questions asked, whose car are we taking? We're going to go hurt some people. Like, that's my guy. But I can't look at my players and be like, hey, do you guys want to pay $7 a case more to get this paint here? And it may not be as good or it may be better. But then at the end of it, like when we're done with GI, paint truck kid, Colin, my youngest son, he goes through with his iPhone, just takes a video of it all. There's 17 skids, 42 cases, 7 broken ones. It comes off the invoice on Monday. So for us, it's kind of a no-brainer. And I know this question comes up all the time. Like, my friend Josh on here from Velocity asked, are we using Defy at event 1? No, we're still using GI. Defy is a title sponsor of our league. They paid for bunkers. They paid for webcasting. And to try to spread this around to every company, because again, you can't say no politics and then have politics. So for us, I don't it's not that I don't care. When I say I don't care who they are, it's not that I don't care about the people. I love our sponsors, but it's just not our place as a league to get into the politics of what paint you shoot. If you shoot Defy, great. If you shoot HK, great. GI, great. That's not my business. It's just to have one. Also, I feel like when you get multiple levels of paint, there can be the possible illusion of favoritism, right? Like, listen, when we're at WC, Buddy from Brawlers, we all love Buddy. He'll get on there and want to go, back towards the cold stuff. And it's like, yeah, buddy. I mean, if you want that pallet back there, you just got to buy these 13 in front of it and we'll get you right to that one. But if you had multiple different levels of paint, I think you could run into the issue where, like, is Ryan's team getting the better paint? My team isn't getting the better paint, because we've all been at a tournament before and that's happened. And I just don't think that's fair. And if our number one job is to get the best two teams to the finals field, I think everybody's shooting. I mean, just like racing, right? Like NASCAR, everybody uses the same tire. Everybody uses the same fuel. So for us being able to do that, I feel removes politics, right? And possibility of somebody getting favoritism.
Perfect. Follow up with this next question here that kind of also talks into about our league too is blind layouts, right? We run blind layouts at USXBL and WC. Florida's not really used to that. So the question was from Josh and a few others is he was asking what we are posting about these practice layouts, but let's just go into blind layouts for our league and why we do that.
Yeah, I mean, we went with the blind layouts because I think first thing I would say is there has to be, we should all recognize in paintball, there's levels to this, right? There's the NXL level. Listen, guys, that is the Lamborghini, the Ferrari. That's the place everybody should aspire to get to if you can afford it. Those guys like ourselves on Collision, we have to fly to all the events. You're either a fly-in team or a drive-in team most of the time. Most drive-in teams, I believe, are regional-based teams. So for us on the regional thing, having layouts out for multiple weeks puts a lot of pressure, I think, on a lot of teams to have to play a lot of paintball and to feel, if a layout's out for 3 weeks, let's just use Texas, right? And I heard the gunners down there with Jesse are just, man, they're out there on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays. Suddenly I feel like if on Collision, we're not at the field 3-4 days a week, like we're behind the 8 ball. We felt when we originally did the blind layout idea, it was a way for people to be able to show up and play. Everybody's on the same level. There's no preferential, even currently with the NXL situation, we have 1 week of layout. But there's some people that have real jobs and firefighters and everything you can name. And then there's other teams that can afford to pay their players, which this industry can never afford to pay them. Let's not get that twisted. But they can afford to play 7 days in a row. That gives, my opinion, kind of an unfair advantage. And the best thing for paintball is to have different teams win, right? Like last year, the Ragtag guys did great in Texas. They deserved it. The Mutiny guys did great in Texas, came to Cali, took one there too, right? So that kind of puts the end of the myth of who can play paintball better than who, because those dudes came right in with 5 dudes and won WC Division 4. It's a tough one, right? 50-some teams in there, 40-some teams last year. It's pretty stacked, So for us with the blind layouts, that's why we did it. We felt it was the fairest way to make sure everybody has a competitive chance on the layout. Maybe it's right, maybe it's wrong. Listen, I'm not against going back to a week or two of a layout if all of the teams wanted that. But if they don't, it's easier for us just to keep it the way it is than to go to a layout and then guys, feel like they're behind the 8 ball and maybe they don't want to, or last second they pull out of an event because they haven't had proper practice. That's just my opinion on it.
I got to post this up real quick from Kenneth Wilcox. Mike posts the practice layouts to shame the NXL on how many good layouts they can make.
Yeah. Listen, man, I think the NXL made some great layouts last year. With this limited paint situation that we have going on, if Tros can make some of the layouts like the European layouts, I thought those were fun. We set them up at SC Village every time. And, you'd play them one weekend, and then as coaches, we all go home thinking about ways we could lock the field up, slow it down. And I felt like a lot of those Euro layouts were really aggressive, right? They really had a good flow to them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Totally.
Another question here, Mike, was I just lost it. I was pulling up. Sorry.
I saw Nick Slowiak jumped in there and asked if they can have fun. When Nick's not coaching at WC, he's supposed to report to the booth to announce games. So no, you can't, Nick, but everybody else can for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Nick, ask Die. It's part of our deal.
Here's a good question here, Mike, while I get this other question ready.
From Justin?
From Justin. Are we going to see a clash of the Titians? I think he meant Titans, but we'll let it slide. Where we take the top 3 teams from each region and set up a tournament of champions.
I mean, yeah, I think that's clearly the ultimate. I see you, Denver. It's black. That's all I wear. My whole closet's full of black shirts and one gray shirt. But yes, I would love to get there. I think, I think our economy is still pretty tight right now, right? Like people aren't overflowing with money. I don't know a lot of people buying new cars. Except for Tracy.
Yeah.
Tracy got her Valentine's Day present yesterday, everybody. No, it wasn't a fun car. It was a Dodge 3500 dually to move the second trailer with. But and a working AC. Funny story, her AC went out at event 4 coming home from Texas, which was like 65, 70 when we left Dallas. But when we hit Landmanville, aka West Texas, the oil fields, it was 98 degrees at one point, and Tracy was going to get a bag of ice, put it in a trash bag, and open it up and sit it on her lap driving down the road. True story.
So another question, Mike, while I'm pulling up the graphic here that I'm going to post for us, but someone had asked, and I'm pulling it up here, is for D5, why do we only allow one D4
one instead of 2?
Correct.
Simple, because I believe when that rule book was written, we were running longer match times, right? Now we've gone to a mercy by 3 or whatever it is down there, 4. 2 D4 guys dropping down to a D5 team absolutely can sway the outcome of it, right? And we're seeing a lot of 6 and 7 man rosters. Like I pointed out, the Oklahoma Mutiny guys came to WC with 5 dudes, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. If any of them are in here, 5 dudes. So by having 2 D4s on a D5, and there's probably guys that have played for a little bit, maybe they're unranked in D5. All of a sudden, you have just super sandbag teams. Listen, if you want to make money and win more money, just move up. But so this all comes back. We can take this back to the wild card situation, right? APPA Chris, and I'm sure if anybody has him on social media, knows he's very opinionated and believes a certain way. But when the year that the wild card guys did sandbag and got caught at the end of the season doing it, Chris said to me, he goes, you're basically paying people to stay down. Because the analogy I use is if D4 is $4,000 and let's just argue that D3 is $5,000, $1,000 more. A lot of teams are happy to just stay down and lose $1,000 and beat the brakes off of everybody to win something, right? A lot of teams don't have aspirations of being the next fit. Some do, not many do. So for us, by giving away, and it's tough, right? Like Division 4 has more teams than anybody. But if you give away more money there, why would anybody ever move up? We've done it the other way. And that's why we've cut that back. Like Florida, Texas, California, who's going to win Division 5? Give me 5 teams. Because you don't even really know 5 teams. Because even me, listen, I look at every APPA league that we have sign-up sheet 3-4 times a day. Like I have open windows on my phone of just all of our registration stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, I see every team that comes in, and you want to have, I believe, 18 years later, a Division 5 that should be D6 teams that are moving up. Guys like in Houston, the Meanies and organizations, Shut Up, We're Trying, and all those guys, where new players show up, they come to an event where it's not our, like sometimes when you have super tough teams in a division, right? Like Division 4, Division 3, Ragtag is going to be in the top 3. Like they're a great team, right? These guys are going to be around for a while smashing people. You don't want that in Division 5. I really think you should have a Division 5 where every event there's parity, because maybe you won the last one and went 1-3 at the next one, right? Now it's a season-long ride to get to that championship. But if you allow teams, like another one we see all the time, the two of us and Tracy, those are the three faces that really run this thing. Tracy sees it every day. Can you reclassify my guy? Can you reclassify my guy? Can you reclassify? And then you hear the name, right? Let's just say Mike Hinman, and you go look at this guy's profile, and you're like, man, you played 17 events last year. How could I reclassify you to play Division 5 your first year of X-Ball again? So what, you can beat up all the new kids coming in? I don't think it's good for paintball. Mm-hmm. And what's the argument on the other side of it? That people can't play D5 for 4 years with 2 D4s and kick the crap out of everybody? Good. I don't want you in Division 5. I'd rather you play in Division 4. And if that's that hard for you, then just don't play. Because I truly believe this. If we just stomp Division 5 down every time, there's 2 or 3 teams that are way better than everybody else, a lot of those teams will just stop playing paintball, right? When there's no hope or no illusion of hope at a tournament, why would we do this? It's just too expensive, right? It's a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and to not feel like you have a chance to win. Like, it's tough, dude. I see it, and everybody, even if I'm on this side and you're on that side of the spectrum, like Ryan and I, we have talks about all kinds of stuff. I truly cannot wrap my mind around justifying sandbagging in Division 5. Now, Division 4, there's going to be teams that are lifers in there. That's not because they're not a good team. There's so many teams. Like WC, we're at 53 or 54 teams signed up.
Yeah. It's the Wild West at WC in California. It's a brawl.
Texas is full too, right? There's a ton of D4 teams there. What I'm saying is there's going to become a division when guys move up and get jumped into D4, where they, especially if you only play 4 or 5 events a year, the chances of ranking out, it's going to take you a couple of seasons to move out. I'm okay with that. Like, I see old friends, guys that I used to play with back when I was coming up, that are back playing Division 4, and they almost kind of respectfully hang their head in shame, right? Like, yeah, I know, man, I'm just back playing. Yeah. Cool. Play D4 for as long as you humanly can. None of us, that doesn't bother any of us. We just believe Division 5 should be heavily protected, as well as Division 6, right? The beginner 3-man should be just beginner. Like, it should be the goofiest thing you've ever seen on film. And then Division 5 X-Ball should be teams that are learning their way through a season, right? And then after a full year of it, if you do well, and there's also teams like 1 year Vegas Venom. I don't think they're a team anymore, but Blake and all the guys, they had a really bad first year. They were like dead last, second to dead last, third to dead last, and they never ranked up that season. That's okay, right? Like, people always throw stones at the APPA thing, and like, my thing is this: everybody's got problems. Who's got solutions? If you don't like how APPA is, that's totally okay. How do we make it better? And that's not an ooh gotcha moment. That's just, how do we really make this better? You know what I mean? And as far as I've seen, I don't see many players getting ranked up that don't deserve it, right? Because you've got a place at 4 events for your top one not to count, and then these 3 to count. You've got to do consistently well. Simple as that, you know what I mean? So as we digress in it, that's why we only allow 1 down in 5, because yes, there's probably somebody that's got to be the ringleader of the madness, but I don't know if having 2 guys on there really helps.
We got another question here from the Budget Baller Coalition, Mike. Are y'all thinking of making your own type of bunker? Would be kind of iconic if we see something like that.
Nope.
What would you make?
I wouldn't. Think about this. When was the last time the NXL did an upgrade kit? Even if it was more snake beams or the starfish, as we're calling it, or whatever it is. Everybody, like, if Tom Cole comes up with an idea to sell $20 bills for $10, somebody's still going to be mad at him. So for me, I just go ahead and take them shoes off and let somebody else put them on. It's also tough because, like, people ask, are we going to use the NXL upgrade kit? Yes, we are. But people have to understand that every field made at World Cup going forward, unless otherwise ordered, which would cost more money, is going to have those 2 starfish bunkers in it, right? And it's going to take 2 big wings out of it. So for us to go back to last year's set with 4 big wings in it and no starfish would just cost more money. And for a lot of field owners, we really don't want to add more to their plate. Like field owners justifying a $6,500 set of bunkers is tough enough, right? A lot of field owners are just getting rid of airball because it's just an expensive thing to put on, right? So no, I don't see us ever adding a unique bunker like that. I just don't.
Someone said, "Can you reclassify Mark Baginski for me?" That was Mr. Justin Doman. Can you reclassify?
But you'll be good next year if we bring a premier division out there. Then Iceman can be your under 8,000 guy, and you'll be good to go.
So that's a good segue there, Mike. Someone was asking, "What do we want?"
Everybody,
yeah, segue.
Segue. Treyway. Segue.
Yeah. So I was asking, what do we want to bring from the West Coast to our Southern leagues? What's one of the main things we want to bring from the West Coast?
We already did. It was called integrity. We don't lie. We just don't lie to people. Like some of the things other leagues that we're going up against have said, I just have to bite my tongue, like COVID pricing and stuff like that. Just fucking stop. Dude. Listen, nobody's paying more for paint now or during COVID. Nobody did. Stop. What that idiot Newsom say? Full stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy, dude. Like, what's crazy is when the people in other regions that we're going into tell me what my competitor's price is, and it's within 50 cents a case from mine. It's probably pretty accurate. There's no this pricing or that pricing. At the end of the day, what we do, I'll never forget being a paintball player. Even as a coach or a promoter, whatever you want to call me, I truly understand the position every player is in. So for me, like that's our number. We never put progress over profit. Period.
Yeah.
When Matty Marshall's available to come to Texas and announce, I guarantee you we didn't make one more dollar because he was in the booth, but his plane flight, his pay, it adds up. It's a pretty good sized number.
Yeah.
But isn't everybody's goal out there to have Matty call your name out on the webcast? Most likely at the NXL level.
Yeah.
But if not, having it there is a big deal to people, right? So for us, that's our mindset, right? Like if I don't make any money this year and we don't lose any money, but we break even on it and people have fun, then I believe we're growing paintball. You know? And
yeah.
I think it's easy in this industry to point the finger at the other guy, right? And at some point for myself and all of us around me that's part of our business, we can no longer point the finger. We have to be the cause, right? It's like our politics right now. All you see on the news is BS and nonsense, and everybody's against everybody, no matter how you feel about it. We're on this paintball boat together. We have to make sure we get to a better place, right? Like this is a known number, 17 to 18,000 players since like 2009. We haven't gone above and we haven't dropped below. We've been stagnant at that number, which is cool. But it's on all of us now to get new players in playing, to keep players playing. Like as much as we want to grow paintball, could you imagine everybody out there right now can think of 3 to 5 friends right off the top of their head that don't play anymore, but it'd be cool as shit to get those guys back. You know what I mean? And I think that's the problem with paintball is we have to make sure we keep it cost effective, fun, and we're competitors, right? If all of us weren't playing paintball, we'd be what? Bowling, go-karts, like it would be brutal. Like, hey, no bumping, cool. Within the first lap, half of us are kicked off the go-karts because we're just competitors.
Mike would be chasing people down the golf course with a club, just hitting people with the club.
Could happen. You meant Tracy.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. No, Tracy's a knife. That's different. Tracy's pulling a charge right away. And to kind of just piggyback off that too, Mike, like there was a question about the live streams, right? Like, are the live streams the same quality as NXL ones?
No.
The reason I pull this out, yeah, it's not. And the reason I pull this out is that's what Mike's saying is what you got to understand is when Mike says, I would rather put the money back into the league so that we break even, but everyone gets a piece of the pie. That was the whole reason why we decided to try to stream and are streaming every single field. You know, the belief behind that is that everybody should be able to watch themselves back at the end of the day. You should be able to show your parents the sport that you love or your friends or your family. And we don't charge for it, right? NXL has a subscription. They pull in, trust me, they pull in over $500,000 a year in subscriptions. We pull zero. So probably one of the cameras you see on the NXL field is our budget for the past 2 years. So
yeah, I mean, we will not be able to compete with that. You know what I mean? It's just, and the tough part we run into, I always tell this story. When the PSP was alive and I coached Ironman for a year, I had to go deal with a contract from a player. I'm sitting at die. The numbers from, I believe it was PB Access back when it was free from World Cup the year before, right? Dave Youngblood had all those numbers. My dad was a machinist there as a kid. I go back with those guys. 380,000 unique IP addresses when it was free. And even at that time, Youngblood had said, like, we would need 3 times these numbers for ESPN to pay attention to us. So the problem we run into, like, if we charge for it, we're going to have, I mean, what? We'd be lucky to have 1,000, 2,000 people paying us, right? If that, maybe 500, maybe 200. I don't know. Very difficult, right? Anything you do for free where you can post a link and people can click on it and it can quickly spread, that's easier for people to click in on and get more viewers watching our game. But to charge money for it, you know, I understand the need to charge money for it. Ryan and I talk about it all the time, but it's also tough for any of us in the chat box that are playing one of our events to send a link to our mom or dad or grandparent or whoever it is, girlfriend, whatever, friends, and be like, hey, watch this. If the first step is pay $19.99 a month, they're probably just not going to do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to say, again, we make improvements every year. This year we've made more improvements. We bought more gear, upgraded our audio. Like, we are continuously upgrading what we do thanks to our partners. So you guys will see some better quality cameras, some better angles, more cameras on the main field. But our goal has always been, if we can't give you a commentator on every field, or we can't give you multiple angles, can we give you something very consistent that doesn't go down, that streams and you can rewatch back? And I think at the end of the day, I think what players appreciate the most is that they can go back to any of our games and watch their match back for practices or for games. Like, you can watch everything, which is great. And it's free.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's why we do what we do, right? Because again, at USXBL, it's our elite division that's on that number 1 field. WCPPL, it's our premier division that's on that.
Yeah.
Just to be clear to everybody, my wife is sending me text messages on the phone and she just thinks it's funny, right? She's trying to make me blush while we're doing this. This is the inside of the Hinman household. She's over there laughing like a criminal. Yeah, it's open, Trace. It's open. Thanks, bud. As I close my phone and turn it face down.
So, Brian, real quick, we answered that question with meta glasses as long as they don't have the microphones in them, I believe. Again, the issue is we don't want anybody to have any issues with accusations of cheating. Like, you know, right?
Well, it's as simple as this. A lot of the meta glasses, I haven't seen them all. A lot of them do have a speaker option in that. If the meta glasses have the speaker option in it, the answer is unequivocally no. Mm-hmm. Cannot do it. We just can't do it, right? We don't know. Again, I'm not accusing anybody of cheating, but if you can't have a iPhone, you know, earpiece in, I can't put one of these in the middle of a game. You know what I mean? No, you can't have something else that could transmit to a player. That's just crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if anybody out there would like to wear those glasses, please, before we get to the event, send Ryan or myself what model you plan to use, and something we're going to have to go over with a lot of you know, caution to it. We just can't risk somebody having a microphone in there. It's an automatic booting out of a tournament to start with, but it's just not worth the controversy it could yield.
Yeah. So here's a question that we had earlier on our social media post, Mike, is do we have any plans to do like a night ball / glow ball option during our events in the future? Most fields now have night ball and glow ball set up. So is there any plans to do that at any of our events?
Absolutely. I've spoken with Johnny at Fit, right? Fit is kind of the beginner of the whole black light thing, right? They really brought that thing out with their lights, the hydro lights and all that stuff. We've absolutely talked with Johnny in the Fit camp about doing a hard point, either exhibition or doing it alongside Florida. It'd be a little tougher. I don't think Legacy or anybody down there in that area really has the black lights yet. Fit, yes, we could. Giant, we could. SC Village, yes, we could. First event of the year, I think we run into, it's a little colder out still, right? Once we get into springtime, event 2, I could absolutely see us doing that. We'd love to do it and just more so to show it to people, because I think blacklight, I don't think for tournaments like we on here all play, I don't know if blacklight's the way to go, but blacklight I think is a really cool part of paintball that we could add into it. And, like WC, we're going to have 150 unique teams there. There's a lot of field owners there. If we can turn the lights on and show them what it is, I don't care who you buy paint from, right? Everybody's got glow in the dark paint now, just to help show people how cool I think it really is. I think that's a big one for paintball.
And here's another question we got. It's a little long, but essentially it is, do we plan on working with any other fields besides Fit, X Factor, and Giant within Texas? And I think this is more of like a question for Houston, right? Do we have any plans to go to Houston or?
Well, but we don't directly have any plans to go to Houston because there's no fields that can field one of our events, right? Like Texas has a lot of fields, right? Texas could be its own country, as we all know. We drive through it. It's extensive. But there's just not a lot of fields that have 3 to 4 pads, right? Realistically, we're going into 4 pads in Texas now. There's just not a lot of fields that have that. So
3 or 4 pads, parking, right? Parking's also a big thing. Maybe you have 4 pads, but can you support that many people there, for our events?
Well, like I said, even Houston, right? You've got Zone, you've got Wasteland. I think they have 1 to 2 fields each, but we couldn't get away with running an event there. So like when guys say, you should do it here, you should do it there. Yeah, absolutely. Like we should do one in Vegas. There's no fields there that have 4 pads. Right now you have to go mobile off-site. And our business plan in general is more sticking to fields, right? Like it's great to go mobile and do all that, but it also, when you're done with it, doesn't leave, like I've talked about in past interviews, it leaves no infrastructure behind for the other 363 days out of the year for, like if we go to Fit, we pay Fit. We go to Legacy, we pay Legacy, X Factor, Giant, all of them. If they can then use some of that money, like JD, I think it's okay to say JD's used the money we've paid him to then turn around and buy more 6,000-pound bottles. Those things are not cheap, right? Like to be able to do stuff like that, I think that's a better look, right? We're helping to invest into the local community and like X Factor. X Factor had 2 fields. When we showed up and Alex said he would build a 3rd one, he did. I think that has massively helped the San Antonio area. Jesse's doing down there the Gunners program. There's a lot of teams down there, Titans, all those guys, right? It's becoming another hotbed hub for action for our sport growing. So I think, anywhere we can go and help, yes, we are absolutely willing to talk with people. And we're very, very open about the numbers.
Yeah.
Has parking been discussed at Legacy? Yeah. The neighbor's going to knock a hole in the fence and we can park cars in the field next to Legacy. Problem solved.
Easy money.
What's the deal with 5 pods? We're not going to it. Not yet.
Quick
just
round.
To be clear on that, I got a call, I don't know, 5 weeks ago from Tom Cole as a pro team owner, right? Asking what my vote was, 4 pods or, unlimited. We put our vote in. We never heard another word. Then all of a sudden it, clearly became 5 pods in a hopper, and that's what it is now. So we'll see. I don't know if 4 pods or 5 pods would really affect the lower divisions that much. To be totally transparent, we know the numbers on the back end of how much paint people buy. I don't know if it would affect a ton, to be totally transparent. At the pro level and the higher levels, hopefully we can minimize the bounce shots and shooting 13 pods off of a bounce shot to try to clip somebody and maybe make more action, right? But we'll see how that plays out.
So
yeah. I've seen this question pop up multiple times.
Yeah.
No, a D5 guy cannot play with D6. Yeah. D6 is, again, protected. I understand the other side of the argument. They're too new. They don't, they don't have the wherewithal to build their own team. I hear that. It's just, again, we come to an unfair advantage situation in D6. Yeah. Like there's really some really beginner teams out there, right? It's more getting those guys to the tournament with us. Because listen, I think less than half of what's important at that tournament happens inside the nets. so much of our paintball tournaments that we all do together, whether it's NXL or USXBL or WCPL or MSXL or any of these other leagues, it's showing up and seeing all the homies again, right? It's like 13th grade in high school. Like we get to show up and see all of our friends again. You know what I mean? So for us, it's getting the D6 guys and girls in with us, kids, whatever you want to call it, and get them at the tournament with us and feeling like they're part of something bigger.
Yeah. It's about those hotel stories, right? Those, like you shared that story back when it was Marky and Geo and you pulled up in the minivan, right? Just giving them cash and stuff. Like just those stories that players,
there's so many memories at tournaments that are not on the field, right? So much, like we all of everybody out here has a story, right? And maybe 100 stories, right? So I think just getting them there and having a fair place for them to fight it out is the most important thing.
Yeah. We had a question from Christian for USXBL. For people that are interested, when or would we ever see? I'm sure we would see it, but what's your thought on the USXBL moving to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday? And then with that question is also Premier Division question mark.
I mean, I think I can speak for every regional league. They would love to do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You can run 50% more teams with the same amount of staff. You're going to pay for one extra hotel room. I have to pay them for the extra day, but whether it's 3 fields, 3 days, which is 9 days worth of fields, or, 4 fields, 2 days, it's the same money and we can run more teams. So of course we would love to. The issue we ran into in Texas, there was a lot of pushback on the D3 teams with people having work, jobs, school. This made it a little bit tougher, right? So trying to balance out, customer service and profitability and just being able to sustain ourselves, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like I tell everybody this, like normal businesses, you can run a budget, right? Like running paintball tournaments, any other promoters willing to jump on with me, we have a framework of a budget. And every event, Sunday night, Monday morning, after everybody's paid out and everything's done, Tracy and I are going over numbers. And there's times I'm truly scratching my head like,
what happened?
Where the fuck did it all go? You know what I mean? Like there's just a lot of cost associated with it. Simply
a lot of hidden costs that pop up too, right? A lot of pop-up costs that just got to take care of your people. And sometimes it pops up all the time.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end here, guys. If you have any other questions, go ahead and shoot those in. We've kind of really answered everything topic-wise, right? Florida, we're keeping the same. D4 and Elite will play prelims on Saturday and then playoffs on Sunday.
Yep.
And finals, and then D5 will play then. USXBL stay the same. We're excited to go back to FIT again, right? Our home. So excited to see all the teams. And then WC, well, just once again, 18 years with the WCPPL. It's got to be the longest running league, right? Is there one other league that may be a little longer, you said? Or are we now the longest running?
I mean, the CFOA is still down there doing something, right? But it's not the CFOA it once was, but I've seen that name still floating around. Any plans for a graphic displaying field numbers? Yes. Sorry, I see all the questions popping up like crazy.
Any plans for graphic displaying field numbers, staging? Oh yeah, Brian. Sorry, he's talking about maps. Yes, Brian. We have a map. We usually release it the Sunday before the event, like the week before. We'll release an event map where it'll show the vendor map, your parking, all your information. So we will have all those out, and then we'll also email you those maps for yourself. So don't worry, we'll direct you to the right locations and where everything will be.
And just so people know, it's a blind layout. It drops. What time, Tracy? Friday at noon it drops. There's layouts and a laminator at registration. So if you come up with bunker names once it drops and you're already at the field, come see Tracy. There's a laminator, field layouts. You can laminate layouts, coach to coach talking, so you can get all your stuff down. We just don't want people setting the layup up days ahead of time and playing it, because if you get caught, you're going to be kindly invited not to come back, right? Like it's a blind layout not to be played on before everybody's got a chance to do it. You know what I mean?
Correct, Manolo. D4XBall will play prelims on Saturday and then playoff finals on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Usually the playoffs start a little bit earlier, 9, 10, 11 a.m. We start them and try to get you guys done before the sun's down, so you're out of there.
Yeah. Jesse, are you asking Jesse about like numbers on your hoppers so we can distinguish players? If go ahead and circle back to us if that's your question.
Yeah, I saw that it's popped up in there. I mean,
Mhm.
we're not against it. Listen, if any team that's playing on any, like Florida, probably be 2 fields, right? Like maybe a third, but most likely 2 fields. If you want to go to the announcer on that field or whoever's up in the tower and say, hey, man, here's a list of our guys. We have corresponding numbers. Yes, to respond to Jesse's question, we have thought about putting hoppers numbers on the hopper.
Yeah.
Tough part of that becomes like if we mandate it and then, somebody's hopper breaks and I borrow somebody's hopper. As a league, I do not want referees throwing penalties, right? Unless they are really deserved, like a chin strap popping off. I think that is the dumbest thing to pull somebody out for. I refuse, right? Simply refuse. So for us, like if you didn't have numbers or the number on your jersey is not the same as the hopper, like what are we talking about? I don't need to have any coaches and captains out there having anxiety because the ding dong number 7 on the roster didn't bring any of his stuff because he was baked out of his mind and forgot all of his gear at home. And now the numbers on his hopper aren't right. Like, yes, if you want to do that and you want to give Robert Jordan a list and Robert and Maddie or LaSoya, whoever it is, can look down and be like, hey, number 17, Ryan Polito's making a move up the center. Please feel free to. But just mandating it becomes a little tough, I think.
And what I'll do too is
you're still going to get penalties.
Yeah, and I what I will do too, it's a great idea, is I'm gonna make a graphic that I'll send out that everybody can print for themselves. We pull rosters and we go online to look at them, but if you want to help us out by putting your numbers, because we don't see those on PB leagues, if you want to put your numbers, you want to put your player numbers, I'll send out a graphic. You guys can hand fill that out and then drop that off to us at the event, and we'll have some too there. So great idea. I mean, we can implement it that way.
Yeah, again, we're not against doing it. Tom Fox. I'm trying to find Tom's.
Oh yeah, I got you, Tom. Here, Tom asked about. People were asking about local refs. Are all the refs going to be local to Texas?
So we are flying a handful of refs in from California with us. There are Rob Wood, I believe, is the other one of our head refs.
Yeah,
also an NXL head ref guy. I mean, again, it becomes difficult, but the honesty of the situation is Florida has more referees than any other state, has more than Texas and more than California. The reason I know this, my wife we know who we fly in, who we don't fly in. Florida has the most referees. Like we've flown a ton of them in and out. So yes, we are using a lot of Florida-based guys. I think the first step to understand the side of it that a lot of the players never really hear about or see is base pay for refs. Like every ref's minimum $200 a day, like minimum, plus hotels, plus travel, right? Like, and we've heard, I'm not throwing stones, that other leagues pay dudes 125, 150 bucks a day. If that was me, you'd be calling me. I'm like, Mike, where are you at? I don't see you here. First game's 8 o'clock. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm not getting out of bed for 125 bucks. But that's just me. You know what I mean? So for us, I believe there are a lot of refs down there that want to work. There's just an expectation of minimum wage pay that they should get.
Yeah.
And I think that could be an issue that other leagues have run into, trying to go under. Like, we've never paid anybody less than $200 a day in 5, 7, 8, 9 years. I don't know. It's been a while. You can't get away with that. So, and
also to piggyback off of that too, Mike, this isn't to just say we're pulling whoever's out there and Florida's available. We have lists, we have refs, we do extensive quality control in our refs for penalty calls, who's making those calls, who's managing those fields, who's the head ref, who works best with each other, right? Because at the end of the day, like these guys have been doing it for years. So a lot of the refs that I'm pretty sure every single ref that will be at USXBL Florida, we've flown out to Texas or Cali, I would assume. That I know of. We have them there. The head refs are all there, Bobby and them, you know them. So you're gonna get the same quality that you would get at any of our other events. So I just want to make sure that's dispelled.
Yeah, Florida and also people have to understand, like all of our refs, and I'm not saying other leagues don't, I'm just referring to what we do. There's a number on every referee, number 45, 17, whatever their number is. If you have an issue with somebody, bring it to me. Listen, I feel like the movie Casino. my job is, I'm not the dealer dealing to the players. I'm not the pit boss watching the dealers. I'm the eye in the sky watching all of them. And if a referee is not doing their job, man, 18 years, the stories are out there. Like, I'll pull somebody off the field and have them help pick up trash or something, because like one bad ref can mess up a whole field.
Yes. Yep.
So with that being said, I have faith in, whether it's Rob Wood, Alicia, Bobby, like, of course the refs look out for each other, and that's totally okay too. But at the end of the day, the buck stops with me, and nobody can be perfect at reffing, right? Nobody. Like, it's a tough job to have to go through. But at the end of it, I can truly say that I'll use Rob Wood, for instance. There was an issue in Texas last year with a player and a ref, and ref might have overstepped his line, you know what I mean? And certain guys just were not invited back. It's not personal, but at the end of the day, much like our police force and every other thing that lays the law down in our nation, they cannot be without being accountable, right? Like, you have to be accountable. It doesn't mean we're against those people. It just means you have to be accountable for the actions that you take. And if one referee, like back in the PSP days, there was one referee that threw 40% of the red flags. He wasn't a ref after that year. They moved on from him. You know what I mean? That's the same here, right? Like, yes, they have to do a job. And thank God we have the media guys out there, right? Because it's a week after a tournament, and Ryan and whoever's sending clips of somebody that my head refs had to get into it with, and it's somebody clearly wiping a hit off, and you're like, we understand it's part of the game, but when you get caught cheating, just own that you cheat. It's totally okay. I'm right. Like, what else can we do about it? But when you're over there trying to pull the I didn't cheat when we all saw you wipe the hopper hit off, come on.
We got it in 4K 120. We can see it. A few more questions here. For Josh Blood, any idea on the schedule for the event? Josh, game schedules drop usually Wednesday. Wednesday we will have Chris from APPA or from PB Leagues. He'll go ahead and make the schedule for us once we get all the teams finalized. So be prepared Wednesday before the event. We'll have those ready for you guys. Yeah, I mean, there's just a few more questions here, but
listen, we appreciate the questions coming in. Mark adding a 30-second one. That's not really an us thing. That's Oldest that makes the boards. He builds that software system, and I believe you buy it for Ryan. You're one of those weirdos that uses a Samsung. Yeah, what do you call that?
I do.
But we don't have a choice on how the software works. Simply put, like, it is what it is, and you get what you get. You know what I mean? Like, we can't just change that. I wish we could get rid of the 10-second countdown, because you see everybody on the 10th beep, guns up. And if there's any glitch in that board, people are getting pulled for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Chris Beltram, we answered that. We will not be implementing the 5-pod rule right now. Check out this next.
Yeah, Chris. I mean, simply put, we do have an idea out on the West Coast, because we live out here, of doing like a one-day event out here, not part of the series, but testing it out. Listen, I played the first limited paint event at the 80 Astro event that Meter held years back at FIT during the COVID situation. Joe Barrett showed up with COVID, showed us his test and said, it says COVID SARS. Say it's not really COVID. Thanks, Joe. Tried to get the whole team sick. But, when I played that event, I coached that event, I really thought we were going to have points where it's, me versus one of you running around a bunker, shaking our hopper, trying to get one off on somebody. Honestly, nobody ever ran out of paint. And when I got there, no knock at Meter, I thought the field, in my mind, I think we do a really good job of building layouts at our league. I thought with limited paint, we were going to see a lot of ladder, like, bricks and wings up the center where you could make moves through and get close and get people off the field. The dead center was wide open. And when I looked at it, I was like, that could be a little tough. You know what I mean? It's going to be difficult to get through some of those zones with 4 pods on your back. But come to find out, it was no issue. You know what I mean? And I honestly think in the Mercy format, unless, ragtag 4-0 is a bunch of people or 5-0 is a bunch of people, if it's a 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4, like it's a pretty close game all the way through, I actually think with limited paint, you may shoot more paint. And the reason I say that is because I think you'll play more games. And ultimately, those 5 guns up off the break is when the most paint is shot, right? When it gets down to a 2-on-2, nobody's out there just ripping the minigun, right? Everybody's now slowed down the rate of fire and trying to make moves. So I could see with proper field layouts, people getting into faster games, if that makes sense. But again, none of us really know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, Mike. If you see anything else you want to chime in on, we're all excited to see everybody at the first event, 18 days in Florida.
Well, I mean, I'll bring this. Do we talk
Yeah.
about what happened at the MVPS situation of what happened between the teams? People, we got tagged in a bunch of stuff, but I don't care what they do. If they want to see our prizes and raise it $1,000 and add something to it, Florida's welcome, because without us, that never happens. But if teams know at our league, we do not tolerate the BS. Like if 2 dudes got an issue with each other and they want to go handle it in a parking lot by themselves, not on legacy grounds or USXBL or WCPPL, that's on you. That's grown man. Go figure that out.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like the overshooting, like the intentional trying to do dumb stuff, it just doesn't fly. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get punished in the upper, like above the neck and the head, and it's going to hurt somebody. Like I'm not wishing for it to happen, but I'm simply saying somebody is going to get a traumatic brain injury at the rate we're going. And when it does happen, then everybody's going to be, knee-jerk reaction, like, fuck, we shouldn't have been doing that. We have rules, like it's in the captain's meeting every day, Saturday, Sunday, Friday. Anytime we have a captain's meeting before the game start, we tell people, if you're the last guy and you purposely come in there and bring that gun up to the back of the head and try to rip somebody's head off like we saw happen at World Cup with Colt and Clinton, all those guys, it is not like you will be suspended out. Rules are written in pen, not pencil. If the refs call it, I'm upholding it. If my refs make a call, and just to be clear how the process works with us, there was an issue in Texas. One of the TKO guys thought there should have been an overshooting penalty. The referees did not call it. If the referees had called it, I absolutely would have backed it. But at the end of the day, and it's not just one referee, right? Like just to be clear, when a malicious intent penalty is called, it is multiple referees, on that side of the field that see the same thing. When 3 referees say, yes, that was malicious intent, he was purposely targeting the head, then absolutely they're going to call it, because that's my wish, right? Like that is what I want. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not just going to go back 2 hours later and all of a sudden throw the book at somebody. It's up to the referees. There's a chain of command. They're the police. They make the calls. I'm the DA. I charge it or not. But I'm not just going to retroactively go back and throw the book at somebody. We'll warn somebody. And that's a tough part with reffing, right? You see it at the NXL level on the pro field because it's the most common viewed field. You'll see a yellow and a red flag go up on the same call. Why isn't it all reds? Because they just saw 2 different things. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of to that point. And if guys want to get crazy with each other, we don't need that at a paintball field. It's just not the best situation. You know what I mean? So, But other side of that, I do understand it gets spicy, and at some point you put 40, 50, however many shots on somebody's head, it is assault. So figure it out. You know what I mean?
For Adrian, for those asking about deep 3v3 showing that there's a payment required, email us. You're not required to pay the full amount. There's a deposit that you got to pay for paint. But for any questions, just email us or get us at any of our socials. If you're a 3v3 team and want to play, just message us and we'll get your info.
I think Josh's comment's pretty funny.
Yeah, this one here, right? Does it already say Hustle Factory?
I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Tracy if she already got your team name on winning it. Yes, there are some modifiers on our Instagram and Facebook. Correct, Ryan?
Yes,
there's
correct.
an addendum page that I believe is posted on the top, thumbtacked up there.
Yep.
On just basic, like the elite division. Really simple with that. A lot of guys that are regional players will play D3, whether it's Florida or Cali or wherever it is. But if there's not a division to graduate into, now we as a league are ranking people into not ever playing again. So the elite division, the idea I had behind that, was to build a division that you cannot rank out of right now, right? And it was really Texas, right? Texas didn't, years of USXBL would have 5 teams, 3 teams, and then that's not fun to play a 5-team tournament, right? So that's where we did that. But also knowing that down the road there would be a premier division at some point, right? Like, which would be currently WC Premier Division is 4,800 points, as many guys, so you could be fit in their winning streak in semi-pro when they won everything, respect. They could still that year have played WC as a semi-pro team. And then you're allowed one guy that's 4,800 to 8,000. But that's why we did what we did. We don't want to rank anybody out. Again, 2 years of running elite. Beefy Boys won it year 1. They graduated up. I believe this year they'll be moving into semi-pro. Year 2, Ragtag won it. They'll be moving into Division 2 this year at the NXL level. So I think we've shown that actually the teams that do dominate end up moving out because it's just the natural progression for them. And like in Texas right now, it's wide open. Yes, Ragtag is going to have a team. I believe they can put their main team in for an event or 2 before they rank up and out. But once they do rank out, they're gone. They can't come back to that division. So just kind of an idea, the mindset of why we did what we did.
Yeah. Joe, we do have membership. You get an ID, right? It's a membership, it's ID. But if you're a D6 player, again, message us for info. But yes, we do have IDs. You can purchase them on pbleagues.com. Yep. Here's another good one, actually, Mike, that I think we should maybe discuss here is, do we have clarifications on out of bounds? I'm not that guy, but it's a hot topic in the NXL.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby and them paint lines on the back line and the sidelines, right? They're very clearly painted. If you go out of bounds, you go out of bounds. Simply put, when you go run the guy down in the snake, don't peel away from him, go towards the bunker, right? But yes, there are boundary lines. You know, if you come off the line and you're standing behind the bumper, the start base bumper, yes, you have to take a step forward because you're technically out of bounds. And I've even seen guys stand half behind that thing, shooting the stranger or the midget, whatever you want to call it, that side shot, looking for the open lane. So yeah, you have to take a step moving forward. As long as you're attempting to, the refs are, I believe in our league, have been very lenient with it. But also when they tell you, you have to take a step forward and you choose to just run out of bounds all the way to the corner shooting, they're going to pull you out, right? Same with the beat thing. If you try to jump it and you go quick and they pull you, that's on you, man. You know, I understand the need to get downrange quick, but it's a risk you're taking.
Game. Yep.
Yes, the Friday, the fields are always open to walk on Friday.
Yep. Yeah, and then for people new for USXBL, we've posted about it, but layouts get dropped at lunchtime, 12 p.m., the day before the event, which would be Friday for USXBL leagues. I think that's it, Mike. Do you have anything else you got to say before we go?
Not much, man. I mean, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to reach out to any of our staff. I mean, we're quick on responding. There's no pre-order on paint. Like, show up, paint's in the truck. It's pretty simple. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you're in the area, come check it out. Like, people have asked us because we're going up against somebody in Florida. This is a multiple year plan. So if there's 10 teams or 6 teams or 3 teams in a division, whatever that number is, we're still paying out. You know what I mean? Like, it's a guarantee. 18 years, we've never canceled a division. We've never shorted $1. We've not played. We're not asking you to keep it as a credit for next event. Take your money and bounce. You know what I mean? We'll see you at the next one.
Yeah.
So
get out there and get out there and play. We'll see you at the event.
What classifies going out of bounds? Quite simply, there is a line, a painted line around the field. If your foot goes over it, you're out. If you lean over it, you're not technically out, right? As long as your feet are between the rectangle box, that is, I believe, 150 by 120, you're good to go. And also in that question, if ever you have a question, because I'm playing on the maxed field or the OTL field or the JT field or the violence, whatever field you're on, go ask the head ref. Take 5 minutes. Any question, is this gun okay? Are these shoes okay, right? Yes, we use pink. So if you have a bunch of pink on your stuff, you're going to run into problems. Simple as that, right? But just ask the head referee, because somebody can tell you the urban myth of paintball. Just go ask the head referee. They have all the answers for you, right? Because you're playing on that field. They can answer everything and what you need to do.
Answer another question, Mike. I'm going to run downstairs. My son is screaming, so I'm going to go get him, but I'm sure he wants to see everybody.
But listen, guys, if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Like, it's an open book. There's no politics or nonsense here that we won't answer any questions. It's wide open, make a standalone mini tournament at the end of the season, top 4. Listen, Rob, at some point that is going to happen, right? Like, absolutely. It's now just, I see you, Chris. The toughest part of doing some kind of a year-end finale would be, there would have to be more money on top of it, which we're not against. And it would just be, where is it, right? Is it California? Is it in Texas? Kind of in the middle for everybody. Probably make the most sense, right? Is it 3 teams? Is it top 10 qualify? And you do some kind of a big money event at the end. Maybe I can give some more ideas for my competitors. There you have it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the move long term. But it's more making sure each region is solid. There's growth in those regions. And then when everybody's feeling it, we add Premier into every one, and then you do some kind of a championship regionally at the end, right? But also, like right now, we're done in October. We hope everybody goes to World Cup. We run 4 events in every league, not 5, not more. We don't want to take all of your time. Here's ours. Play some of ours. Go play some of theirs too, right? That's part of paintball.
And I do want to give this shout out real quick. Tom Fox, paint special for any team that's signed up for USXBL Florida. So if you got to get some practice in, head over to Legacy Sports out in Lakeland, and they'll get you hooked up.
Totally. I was looking at a million messages, but yeah, please, Greg, I saw yours in here. Going to respond to it. The 5-man prizes. Beyond that, please feel free to reach out to us. If you're out there on the fence, not sure, just come check it out. We have more surprises up our sleeve for that event. We bought technically the pro field and the semi-pro field at the NXL used the LED panels for the team logos and all that. I have 6 of them sitting in front of my house in audio video cases right now that are going in the trailer this week for the drive next weekend. Tents, you don't got to rent tents. We show up. I believe we're bringing 20 some extra 20 by 20 white tents. Ragtag guys can tell you, we usually ask 2 teams to split one. So if you got homies that you want to be cellmates with, hop in there together. We provide tents for everybody, like the big white NXL tents. So there's a lot of things like that you'll see at our events that are probably different from other people's events.
Yeah, free tents for all. Trust me, we've had this conversation. If Mike could, there'd be 100 tents on that trailer going. There'd be a tent for every single team.
Yeah. The tents make it cool, right? You have a place to hang out. Because the biggest issue I see, like we run SC Village, if there's not a shaded area, chairs, like somewhere to hang out, I just go back to my hotel and hang out and watch the webcast, right? But in order to try to keep people at the field, giving them shade and a place to hang out, kind of fun. So, yeah. We'll see everybody in Florida, Texas. I'm stoked. The Gunners, we've got some Texas teams coming out. I believe some of the Collision guys are putting a line together for Florida, right? I believe it's FBGM, which is Bono and gang, but they're all from out here with us that have moved back out to Florida. So I'm excited to see, right? Ragtag guys. I mean, hand them dudes a pile of money again, right? Then my boys. I really respect the Ragtag guys. Those dudes showed up in Texas. They didn't talk no trash. They just served up facts. You know what I mean? I'll be a fan of those dudes for forever, Like coming to somebody else's region, being cool about it. Everybody's throwing daggers your way, and you just let your gat talk for you. They represented Florida well last year, and I'm really interested to see how that goes as we go forward, because there's a lot of Ragtag teams in there. So
fields will be turfed. They will be turfed fields.
So Any questions, please let us know. I appreciate you guys. Like whether we have 10 teams or 20 teams, when we're there, the money's guaranteed. I hope everybody else matches us on the overall money, $12,000 for Division III. In the future, if guys want to, we could, not saying this year, but down the road, if teams wanted to vote to not do series money, we would just give $10,000 away in elite for first place at every event, right? Just the money's the same. We never asked the Ragtag guys. They should have probably declared how much money they were coming home.
They were heading home, right? Big stacks in the airport when they were heading home.
Totally. So that's what we're about. Just making paintball fun and affordable, man.
All right, guys.